Hello friend, as we know the patient which are coming to the hospital, approximate 15% are coming for certain skin lesions. There could be various skin lesions which we notice, like there could be furuncle, there could be carbuncle, pustules, macules, impetigo, erysipelas. So there can be different skin lesions. And causative agents for these skin lesions, one of them important is the beta hemolytic streptococcus, that is the Streptococcus pyogenes. In this slide you can see the streptococcus are the gram-positive cocci which are arranged in chains. So as we notice in the staphylococcus, which is the important DD for the streptococcus, so they are arranged in the clusters, whereas Streptococcus pyogenes they are arranged in chains. Now, what are the all the disease which this pathogen can cause? Although this topic is on the skin and subcutaneous infection caused by this bacteria, but in this I have covered all the disease like this can cause meningitis, otitis, sinusitis, tonsillitis, pharyngitis. If we talk about skin, impetigo, erysipelas are the important lesions it causes. Now, what is the pathogenesis? That is the mainly it causing the pyogenic infections, and this pyogenic infection involves the impetigo, cellulitis, erysipelas. It also causes the necrotizing, that is necrotizing fasciitis, also called as the flesh-eating bacteria. So it is the most important pathogen for necrotizing fasciitis. Then there are certain genital infection like purpura fever, purpura sepsis. So what we notice in the that there will be non-necrotizing involvement of the dermis and the subcutaneous tissue, and the lesions are very painful, whereas in case of impetigo it will rupture and it can develop into honey colored crust. So erysipelas, it is an acute infection and inflammation of the dermal layer of the skin, usually involves the infant or the people who are more than 30 years of age. So there we notice the inflammation of the dermis and the subcutaneous tissue. Then they will be swollen and indurative with a distinct border. This you can see the erysipelas. Now what it can cause a deep infection, that is streptococcal myositis, and second is a necrotizing fasciitis. Necrotizing fasciitis is very important as this pyogenes is a most common pathogen for causing this necrotizing fasciitis. So there is the involvement of the fascia layer, right, which is a very deep layer, and if on time we have not noticed it, it can spread and can cause necrosis of the underlying tissue. How this can occur? That is, this pyogenes entry can occur either by two paths, that is either trauma to skin, or there can be GI tract breach, that is in case of the surgeries. So the patient will present with the acute onset, and there will be systemic features like fever, chills. The patient will have toxic look. Although when we see directly that lesion, we will not notice there will be very less erythema. So, but the severe pain will indicate that there is an involvement of deeper layer. So we have to be alert. So this is the necrotizing fasciitis. Then scarlet fever, so this is caused by the toxins which is secreted by Streptococcus pyogenes, which can lead to the shedding of the skin. Along with that, there could be a strawberry colored tongue, sore throat, chills, fever, headache. Now comes to the bacteria. Streptococcus is a gram-positive cocci. They are arranged in chain because they are being divided in the single plane. And this bacteria is catalase negative because important gram-positive cocci which we face in day-to-day infections. So it is Staphylococcus or Streptococcus. So Staphylococcus is catalase positive. This is catalase negative. It is non-motile and they can be aerobe or facultative anaerobes. Now coming to the classification, it is on the basis of oxygen requirement. If they grow in the absence of oxygen, so they are known as obligate anaerobes. Example is Peptostreptococcus. Then those bacteria which need oxygen, they are aerobes and facultative anaerobes, which are being further classified on the basis of hemolysis. So two type of hemolysis has been seen, alpha hemolysis and beta hemolysis. So hemolysis we see on the blood agar plate, sheep blood agar. So alpha hemolysis means there is a greenish discoloration or the partial hemolysis, which is being given by the pneumococcus, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae, or other commensal bacteria which are the Viridans group like Streptococcus mitis, mutans. So they give the alpha hemolysis. Another is the beta hemolysis, that is complete hemolysis. You will see there will be a complete lysis of the RBC. And third is the gamma hemolysis, means no hemolysis. So this enterococcus doesn't show. Initially it was under the Streptococci family, now it is not there. Now come to the beta hemolysis. So when we see this bacteria, there is a Lancefield grouping which is based on the carbohydrate C antigen, which is important MCQ. So 20 serogroup have been made, A to V except I and J. Now the group A, on the basis of this Lancefield grouping, it is very important, which is further being typed, that is known as Griffith typing on the basis of M protein. So this is also another MCQ. Griffith typing is on the basis of M protein. Lancefield grouping is on the basis of C carbohydrate antigen. So these are the certain examples. I have already told you about these. Then comes the virulence factor. So virulence factor, one is the group specific cell wall antigen. It induces the inflammatory response. Then lipotecoic acid, which will help in adhesion to the respiratory epithelial cells. M protein, which is the most important virulence factor of this bacteria, and it will inhibit the phagocytosis, as well as it will lead to the release of inflammatory mediator, which can induce vascular leakage. Other two protein T and R, they are not related to virulence, so only M is important. Then antigenic mimicry has been seen in case of the bacteria with that of our tissue. So what are those? Like hyaluronic acid with synovial fluid, cell wall protein with myocardium, cell membrane antigen with vascular intima, group E carbohydrate with the cardiac walls, and peptidoglycan skin antigen. Therefore, in case of the streptococcal infection, when we have usually like respiratory tract, sore throat or certain skin lesions, there we can have later on manifest with the immunogenic lesion, immunogenic diseases like rheumatic heart disease or acute glomerulonephritis. So this is due to the antigenic mimicry, and when this bacteria enters our body, there will be stimulation of the immune system and antibodies are formed. But these are antibodies are formed against this bacteria, but because there is a resemblance with our tissue, this antibody will react with our tissue. So when we are talking of skin lesions, usually glomerulonephritis has been seen. So this is the structure of this streptococcus. Then other virulence factor like toxins and enzymes. So among that streptococcal pyrogenic exotoxin. This is very important. So pyrogenic means induces the fever. It enhances delayed hypersensitivity and also susceptibility to endotoxins. It is associated with a scarlet fever and toxic shock syndrome. This streptococcal pyrogenic exotoxin, there are three types of A, B, C. So A and C, they act as super antigens. So as this toxic shock syndrome toxin acts as super antigen, it is also similar to that. So then the hyaluronidase enzyme, this will split the hyaluronic acid and spreading the infection. Streptodornase, that is also known as the DNase, it depolymerizes the DNA and it lyses the pus. So that is the pus of streptococcal infection is serous pus. It is a watery. When we see for staphylococcus pus, it is thick in nature. So this is due to the activity of this enzyme. Then streptokinase, so that activates the production of plasmin and digests the fibrin clots. So it will also have the spread of infection. Then how to diagnose this case? That is, when we have these skin lesions, we will get the pus swabs or exudates are there. So we can have the transport media, Pike's media. When we do the gram stain, we see Gram-positive cocci arranged in chains 0.5 to 1 microns in size, and culture on the sheep blood agar 5%. Beta hemolytic colonies we will get, and they are pinpoint, and wide zone of hemolysis, beta hemolysis. Selective media also we can have crystal violet blood agar. So this slide you can see the beta hemolysis. There is a pinpoint colonies surrounded by a wide zone of hemolysis. Also there is a very important test, that is a bacitracin susceptibility, which is very important for diagnosing this bacteria. So when we get the colony on the plate, we do gram stain. We notice there gram-positive cocci in chains. It is non-motile. Then we go for the second test, that is the catalase, which will differentiate it from Staphylococcus. So it is catalase negative. Now, as we notice on the plate, there is a beta hemolysis. So we go for the beta hemolytic bacteria. So among that, we can go for Lancefield grouping, and important is the bacitracin disk sensitivity that will show that it is Streptococcus pyogenes. If any like these immunogenic diseases are there, rheumatic heart or acute glomerulonephritis, so there you can have serological test, ASO test for rheumatic, and in case of skin lesions we have anti-DNase or anti-hyaluronidase test. Penicillin is the drug of choice for pharyngeal infection as well as suppurative. If the patient is allergic, we can go for macrolides, and long-term maintenance therapy is needed for rheumatic heart disease. Thanks for paying attention. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.